Okay, we're gonna look at the Moivre's equation for getting the cosine or sine of a certain factor called n, and we're gonna say that it's a natural number. So let's begin. Now we see that the formula is cosine plus I times sine to the nth power is cosine of the factor n plus I times sine of the factor n. And we know that I is square root of -1. So we're dealing with imaginary numbers. So it's complex. And it's really interesting. We can take a look at if n equals 2. So case 1, we're going to look at n equals 2. So let's see what happens if we replace n with 2. So we should get cosine of theta plus I sine of theta, the power of 2. And then we just use our multiplication table. So cosine sine I sine cosine I sine, so cosine squared plus 2I cosine sine minus sine squared. So this is what we get from the multiplication, and it's really interesting because now you have that this is equal to cosine squared minus sine squared plus I times cosine sine plus cosine sine. So this means that now we have acquired the formulas for cosine and sine with n equals 2. So now we know that cosine of 2 theta equals cosine theta squared minus sine theta squared. And we know that we know that sine of 2 theta equals cosine sine of theta plus cosine sine of theta. So it's just 2 cosine sine of theta. And now we can calculate the formula for any n. So let's say that if you want to calculate for 3 theta or 4 theta or any of the other thetas, and or like a certain angle, and for example we can try to see the if n equals 2. So case 2 is if n equals 3. So let's see if n equals 3. Now we're gonna multiply the thing we got last time, which is cosine squared minus sine squared plus 2I cosine sine, and we're gonna multiply it to the original original factor, so c plus I times sine, and we're gonna get cosine cubed minus cosine sine squared plus 2I cosine squared sine I sine cosine squared minus I sine cubed minus 2 cosine sine cubed, and we just take out the real real multiplicative factors, which were cosine cubed minus cosine sine squared minus 2 cosine sine squared. So this is what we get for cosine of 3 theta minus cosine sine squared minus 2 cosine sine squared, which is we can just they have the same factor of sine, so we get minus 3 cosine sine squared. And we can do the same thing for sine, and we just get that sine of 3 theta equals equals 2 cosine squared sine plus sine cosine squared minus sine cubed, and then we just they have the same factor of cosine, so we get 3 cosine squared sine minus sine cubed. And these should be our factors of sine and cosine as we go from the original cosine and sine, and then we use the Moivre's formula to acquire any of the sine and cosine. We can also use Chebyshev polynomials, but I will talk about them later.